the worst. Oh God, I would
like
not wake up early to jack
anymore.
off. No.
I don't wake up for that purpose. It's just,
I'm
hey,
a
I'm
night
up. No one else
masturbator.
is. Why not?
Plus, that's when we get the best wood is the morning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I'm not a guy, so I don't know. I don't know how those things work.
We get that
Still?
16-year-old just like rock hard.
Rob doesn't. He's old.
That's true.
Rob
Once
wakes
in a
up
while.
normal. Yeah, like
it is
flaccid.
normal.
No.
The worst is trying to pee. Like
with a boner, yeah.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Well, if you're gonna have a boner, why is your wife gonna waste it?
Well, look at Rob.
Exactly.
I would fuck the shit out of him.
I'd waste it.
I'd just ride his calf all night.
You also don't have to deal with his farts, though.
This is true.
Oh no, I wouldn't.
Well, yeah, you would. He's a gassy guy.
No, he'd just come over and fuck me in the morning and leave.
Oh.
I don't want to like live with him. I don't want to be his wife.
Still fart.
Oh well,
right.
you wouldn't be allowed to.
If you're not going to live with him, he's just going to fart more.
Oh,
Even
true.
better, not around me. Anyways, sorry, Paulette. This is really inappropriate. We
don't
are
normally-
professional. Don't let your wife see this episode. She'll hate me forever.
No.
Okay. Nick, are you talking to a friend?
I was talking to Danielle. We had a squirrel emergency, and then she asked, "Who's the orange?"
A squirrel emergency?
Yeah.
A squirrel emergency. You know how tweakerish that sounds?
It had a hurt paw, like it couldn't put it down.
It's a fucking squirrel. Leave it be.
Is that the one that was on the screen?
I don't know. There's multiple ones with balls. So
You guys need to quit feeding those stray animals.
they're not stray.
I
Okay.
fed some homeless guys once, and they didn't go away either. So, you know.
I'm sorry. Did you say you fucked some homeless guys and they didn't go away?
I said I fed them, fucker.
Oh, fed. Okay.
Yeah, fed.
Yeah, she has standards.
Yeah, I have standards. I don't, if they're homeless, they don't tell me right away.
You had like a grapes of wrath moment. You gave them their breast milk.
Ew. Start your fucking podcast, Nick.
Going literary. I love it.
Gotta quote some John Steinbeck. All right, welcome to the Gag on This podcast. Check the episode description for the show and guest social media. Check out our website, gagonthispodcast.com. Email us, gagonthispodcast@gmail.com. Like and follow our Facebook page. And if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can watch the recording and hear the episode 2 days before it's released. I am Big Nick. I am joined by my Portuguese lover, that is Rob.
Hello.
Joined by the Italian stallion, no longer bronze, that is Danny D.
I'm a golden goddess now. I'm that level.
Sharon is somewhere. But we are joined by a special guest host from the outhouse, fucking Deep Throat, who doesn't want to show his identity, just a big
Deep
floating
Throat.
fucking orange. What up, Mr. Orange?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Danny, by the way, Deep Throat is a 70s reference.
Yeah, for
Well,
youngsters.
and multiple.
Yeah.
Friday night reference, too. Yes, you had a good one.
Yeah, it's Watergate, too. Wasn't Watergate Deep Throat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
All right. Well, I don't know things. That's fine.
Okay. And
Okay.
our guest is the great and hilarious Paula Mattocks.
Hey, what's up, fuckers? Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Well, thank you, fucker.
Hey, man, if your podcast is Gag On This, that shouldn't gag you. That's my,
Now, is it like Mattocks, like it has an X at the end, or is it like Mattocks, like Buttocks?
well, it's my husband's name, and I don't give much of a shit about it anymore. I just call it Mattocks.
Okay.
Mattocks.
I feel there's a story there, but we'll move on.
Just trying to be witty. That S is important. That's all I know. All I know is their family's not about that S at the end. It's gotta be Mattocks.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it is important when you spell your last name right. I mean, that's important.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
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 Wasn't there a show
Mattocks.
called Mattock?
There was a show called
80s?
Matlock.
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 That's what it is. Never mind. I'm
Boy,
not
oh
old
boy.
enough to have watched that one.
Angelina Jolie's son is named Mattocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the X. With the D's. The D's and the X.
Yeah, so that's exciting shit.
Right.
I'm gonna have a fucking hard time with this goddamn floating orange.
Sorry,
I just
man.
keep looking at it. I'm just like, son of a bitch.
I feel like
too.
I'm talking to, like, you know, someone who's like catfishing me. Fucking show your identity, sir.
No, he can't.
Gotta keep it
Why?
a big secret. I choose to. You can kind of look at me as the unpopular comedic Daft Punk. I just I don't know. I don't want my image out there anywhere. It's just kind of something we did since the beginning, and I've just kept it rolling. So I figured it might be funny to try this. I don't like that I can't express myself or use my hands at all, because every time I do, you guys obviously can't see shit, and I disappear every time I take a drink from my beer.
Are you
Like right there.
Italian?
I have some Italian in me.
Yeah, I talk with my hands a lot too.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess Sharon did join. He's just getting connected. Sorry, Paula. We are usually more professional than this.
It's
Oh,
all
no.
good, man.
I don't know. I've
All
listened to
fucking good.
Like Sharon's just ruining it. There's
What's
Anti-Vice.
up?
Sharon, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, well, come on. Be happy.
I'm smiling. Am I smiling?
That's a fake ass smile if I've ever seen one.
Is it?
That's a you got laid smile, right?
No, that's a creepy ass smile. No, that's like a I'm fighting to be happy smile. I do it all the time. I do it all the time.
Why are you fighting?
All right, we are joined by Sacramento Poet Laureate that is Sharon.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing, Paula?
Oh, you guys know each other?
Not yet, but we're going to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, she
We're
said.
just friendly people. We're just friendly people.
I don't know how that works.
I mean, she did say nice to meet you.
Oh, I'm super high. What do you want? I'm sitting on the beach.
High and hungover. What is Anti-Vice doing? Is she
Yeah,
taking a
tell her to
sex call?
shut her trap. Say
He's
hey,
not gonna do
broad.
that.
Hey, broad, shut your mouth.
Broad.
That's how I'd want someone to talk to me. So.
Okay.
All right, and the orange
Yes.
disappeared again.
Ah,
There he
there he
is.
is.
Fucking A.
Looking for my pipe.
This is like a floating spheroid. Jesus Christ. Okay. So, Paula, first of all, I apologize for this Animal House thing we have going on here. Let's bring it back. Scene. Danny's leaving. All right. So, the comedy scene. So, you live in Arcata?
Humboldt County, I like to say, just for the cliche of it, you know. Humboldt County, man.
A lot of dreadlocks out there?
No, but there used to be a lot of weed back when the weed game was straight. It's all fucked up now.
Really? Humboldt doesn't have weed anymore? No.
Well, since the market became a market for it, and you know the white market, it's different. It's just different in all aspects of the game. It's just different.
They're pushing out all the homegrowers, the people that really care
Yeah.
for the corporate interests. Yeah.
Yep. They're
Well,
making
now it's
Walmarts.
It's all corporate now.
Yeah.
It's funny how their permits got okayed, and the local guys that have been here forever, their permits aren't okay. You know,
Like
it's
how
just-
Reno went to shit after all the Indian casinos opened up. You don't have to drive out there, so why would you?
Reno has always been shit, bro.
Oh, it always
gonna
has
say.
been, but they were growing at one time.
Oh,
Yeah,
must have been before my time.
It was.
Okay.
it's just different.
Um,
It's sad. in a
So
way.
how's the comedy scene up there? I imagine, do you travel to Eureka a lot to do comedy, or is there an actual scene where you live at?
No, that is the scene. And the scene wasn't. I didn't find out about the scene till about a year ago in November. Is when I found out there was a comedy club. Come to find out that comedy club, the people who were the crew at that club had been doing local gigs for years, I guess. And they actually run the Savage Henry Independent Times magazine. So they traveled for that and then would do gigs on the road. And then they had the opportunity to open the club, and they did. And that's the only way I could have ever learned to do comedy because I have kids and they're my job and I can't, you know, and I live out in like kind of nowhere. So there's nothing cool, you know,
Ooh.
but now there's a comedy club. So, hey, leveled up.
Danny, you were amazed by that?
Well, I'm just thinking of the next place I want to do shrooms, and it would be cool, like, to go where there's a lot of space up in Humboldt County.
There's some cool forests, man. How deep you want to go?
Not that deep. Not that deep. I'm a scared cat.
Well, I need a nurse, a
Yeah,
lawyer.
no. I'm fucking winded from thinking about it, so, you know. Shit.
You opened up yourself for that one. That's for
It's the truth, man.
infinity.
So one thing I noticed is you host an open mic, correct?
Yes, I host 2 a week now.
Now,
Yeah, the Zoom mics.
now before Sharon says it, what are your thoughts on the Zoom shows? Because we hear mixed feelings for them.
Yeah, and of all the issues that we humans debate nowadays, it's weird that it's a problem because the people who are anti-Zoom are super fucking vocal about it. Okay, but you gotta talk and bitch about it so much, like you don't have to do it. You know?
No one's asking you to.
No.
You know?
Right? Yeah, my local crew, they're not fucking around with it at all. At all.
Really?
Yeah. And that's fine, to each their fucking own, you know?
That's
I personally am super excited that Zoom mics come with quarantines, you know what I mean? Because being stuck with the kids full time and not being able to do anything, the fact that I can run it from my home.
Well, and that's how Heard I met. Like, you know, it's
Yeah.
just a great fucking way to network and meet people that you would have never really met on your own.
Yeah. And the second I met you, I felt like I knew you forever. Like, it was
Aw.
kismet that night. We were fighting with a goat versus fish, so it was bonding on lots of levels.
He texts me often. Yeah, he texts me
Yeah,
often.
Wait, what? Like goat, like greatest of all time, or a fucking goat?
No,
It's
Okay.
It's a guy on Twitter whose handle is goat versus fish. But all he ever says is goat versus fish.
or
So
fish
if you have a
versus goat.
conversation, like I would say, hey, Danielle, goat, or I wouldn't even say Danielle, hey, goat versus fish, fences. You know, that's all he does.
Goat.
And he's got merch and shit, so he's real deep into it.
And he won't break character.
No.
He was very annoying.
Kind of like having an orange for a head.
Hey, now.
That's why when I logged in, I was like, this better not be the annoying orange because I can't handle that shit. My
I'm
kids used to
quiet
watch it.
orange.
Thank you. I like a good
I
quiet
just
orange.
sit here and drink my beer and smoke my pot and wait for, my proper time to interject in the conversation.
A submissive orange.
We can circle back to that mushroom conversation whenever you guys are ready.
Oh, we'll talk about it off air. I don't want to get arrested.
All right.
All right.
I think you would have already been arrested, Danny.
Shut
Case has
down.
been built.
I know.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, so I
Cool
host these
style.
2 mics, and it's pretty rad. I'm enjoying it.
now, one thing I saw, I don't know if it's the mic you hosted, but on one, I don't know if it was a show or an open mic, but there were 40 comics.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Brooke's mic on Tuesdays. And that's her shtick, 40 comics. And she does a lightning round at the end. Whoever's left.
I did that
stays.
last
They get
week.
1 more minute.
Yeah.
What do you mean
How
who's
long
ever
does that-
left? Like there's
Whoever
a
sticks
timeline?
around.
Yeah, whoever sticks around. Most
Yeah.
people, the etiquette on this mic hasn't been solidified, let's say. So you got the people who come on and jump off soon as they're done. You got the
It's
people that
kind of
come
like
on and
phone
stay for a
sex. They
couple and then
just
jump.
hang out.
Yeah, you have some hosts that if you do that, they won't have you back.
Yeah.
You know, so depends on who you're rocking with. But Brooke's hella cool. But she's a tight 3. They will cut you off at 3:02. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So
Oh, it's a
It's cool.
3-minute set, not a
3
5.
minutes.
3-minute set with
Shit,
a
I
I
lightning
go 3
round.
minutes.
And they're out of New York.
Okay.
Nebraska.
Oh,
Oh,
Nebraska.
Nebraska. Wow.
Yeah, but she gets everybody from all over the world. Like, yeah. And I've done mics all over the world. Technically, I was, on the mic, like Moscow and Japan and
Oh, okay.
London and
I saw that. So
Yeah.
you did a Zoom show for the.
it was the mic,
Huh.
but it was prime time in Moscow, so it was kind of like, like a
Dang.
mic would be in person. Big
Now, we-
to
That's dope.
Are we talking about Moscow, Russia, or Moscow, Idaho?
Russia.
Okay.
Good call.
There's
Good
multiple
call.
Moscows.
Good call.
No.
Like, did you know that there's 4 Sacramentos?
Yes.
No,
There's only one.
I think
I'm
there's,
raising
one
my
was bad
hand.
enough.
I think there's 3 Hollywoods too.
I like
Oh,
Hollywood
you know
in
what?
Florida.
Springfield actually is the #1 most common city because that's how the Simpsons picked their city that they live in because they wanted something everyone could relate to.
Fun fact.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Fucking
Trivia knowledge.
Right?
By the way,
Useless.
I'm not going to glean over that Paula was like, when we talked about Sacramento, she's like, I thought 1 was bad enough.
Thanks for the spotlight there, sir. I was gonna let it go. After
Oh,
the
I'm
second
sorry.
time.
That was just funny. I'm shocked nobody else caught that. That was
I
good.
even said it
I
twice.
see Rob
too.
was pajama for that one.
I don't listen to negative comments on the beautiful city I live in.
Sacramento blows. I'll fucking admit it. Who
You
gives
don't
a
Then
live
get
in
the fuck out of here.
You
Then
don't
get
live
on
in
out.
Sacramento.
Go. Be
You live in
gone.
Rockland.
Not true.
You don't even
True.
live in Sacramento.
Yes, I should know better than to pick on any of you Central Valley people because you're already living hell. So I shouldn't have said anything.
And we're super sensitive about our city.
I know. I'm
Fuck.
sorry.
We're super sensitive anyways. I'm about to give up Facebook. A lot of people just bitching and
You're
moaning.
such a
Fuck.
pussy.
I gave up Facebook a long time ago, and I am better off for it, man.
Amen.
Like
Fucking hell.
it's sad that Twitter is where I go to not talk about politics. That used to be the place for politics. Now it's like Facebook. Ugh.
I think you hang out with the wrong crew on Facebook. What the fuck is going on?
Just a bunch of
Right.
sensitive Sallys.
Oh.
Sensitive
suck
Sallies.
it.
You sound
Sensitive
so fucking old.
Sally. Yeah.
Paula, I think you and I are a lot alike now. Like, I know they haven't seen your comedy yet. Or actually, I think Sharon may have logged into a show we were both in. But you are so funny. Like, I think it's hilarious that you know, your approach when she talks about, like, parenting and shit. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm not the only one that hates their kids. Oh my God, it's so great. So,
Okay, I
you know,
have to specify. I don't hate my kids.
I know.
I hate the mechanics of the mothering job and the fact that I wasn't warned about that. You know, the cooking and the cleaning and the breaking up fights and being, you know, all that bullshit that kids create.
You don't have to apologize for that. I always tell people you're not a real parent until you told your kid to fuck off behind their back.
Yeah, see, I can't talk to my kids like that. You know, they'll
what I said
throw
behind their
words
back.
out to me, and I'm like, on your soul, I'm not going to do that to you. And if I have to talk to you like that, I'm done talking to you for a while. You know what I mean?
How old are your kids?
Yeah.
How old are your kids?
Yeah. What's that?
How old are your kids?
Well, I got quite a range. My domestic products, I like to call them, they're 22, 20, and 17.
Oh, you
And
can
then,
totally tell them to fuck off.
You can't.
Well,
At this age,
Yeah,
shit, I think you can legally punch them.
oh my God.
that,
Legally.
two of them, it's no longer child abuse.
Yeah.
But I'm native, so we just treat our kids different, you know. I
Got
just,
it.
for me personally, you know, them motherfuckers got a couple coming, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
Got the list coming.
But a few years ago, my sister passed away, so I got a couple of her kids that I'm raising. So I got pushed back to the start line of parenting.
And how old are they?
They are 7 and 11,
Oh, you
fuck
poor
no.
bastard. Okay.
No.
and I had to be the teacher.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Sorry-
and I'm gonna
sorry
have
for
to
you.
still be the teacher because I'm not sending them back to school this fall. I'm just
Our
not.
school district isn't opening up. My son's school district said that the first semester is going to be online.
Good. Absolutely fucking lootly, man. What this virus does to the kids is scarier than what does it to the adults.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Mm.
It's horrible.
That's
So
true.
yeah. So I'm stuck in a penitentiary for a long time. That's what I call my home. Penitentiary. Yeah. No, man. I was watching Locked Up a few years ago, and there was a lot of fucking similarities between the show and my life, and I was like stunned. You know, like, oh my God, their bars are real, but mine are invisible, and we're held just the same. Like,
Yeah.
the fuck? Yeah.
You're telling your kids you're grounded through the toilet.
Toilet talk.
Yeah.
I found a really hot show that really turns me on, you guys, since we were
Uh-oh.
talking about Locked Up, and I've been watching it a lot. It's called Locked Up Boston. So all these criminals have with a Boston accent that are
Oh my
trapped in like the
gosh.
Boston prison. Because that's my dream, to meet a chauvinist with a Boston accent.
You
And
were
all
so
these
fucking
guys-
broken.
All these guys are in
He is
prison, and they didn't do it, but their accents are just so strong, and the cops too. Oh my God, I'll just watch that show and be like, yes, sir. Yeah.
No, my favorite show right now is that 600-Pound Life, you know, because I'm those
I
bitches go away.
refuse.
So it makes me feel good every day. Every fucking day. You know?
I feel like I'm already there, so I'm not watching that show.
No, girl, you're not anywhere near 600-Pound Life. Come the fuck on. Seriously.
That's my goal weight. That's my goal weight.
That's
I've
my
been
winter
eating
weight.
quarantine and drinking. Like, that's my goal weight. Fuck.
Yeah. It's quarantine time.
Guys. How often do you do comedy up there? Like, do they have comedy every night?
No. Pre-quarantine, it was just, well, you could almost do a mic every day if you worked hard at it, and most of the mics would be mixed mics, so, you know, they're not comedy mics. There was three or four a week. Yeah. So, but now I could do mics almost all day, almost every day on Zoom, if I could.
It's funny to see Danny stand up and walk, and
Oh, my
the
bad.
picture never changes.
So you're saying she's as tall as she is sitting down, standing up?
I mean,
Oh,
we don't see that thing. We see the mountain behind it. Ha ha ha.
Damn,
Tip
these
of
are
the
your
mountain there.
homies?
yeah, these are my men. These are my boys. I would ride or die for them.
Don't worry, she
Nice.
talks shit when
Not
the
really,
camera's
but-
off.
I talk a
Well-
gang of shit.
It's one of the things I like about you is
I'm
that
so
you let
not
your
nice
mouth
to these
run.
guys.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a lost art. It's becoming a lost art. The ability to
It's
talk shit
tragic.
fluently.
It's
Yeah.
very tragic what it's becoming.
By the way, just to talk briefly about the Boston accents thing, somebody on Twitter actually wrote a huge article about why Boston accents are the sexiest accents. I just don't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. I just imagine like
I should.
since men talk like that, the women got to be like "park the car." Like that's
That
not
doesn't-
attractive.
That does
They
not
should
appeal to me at all.
I'm not sleeping with the women.
I'm
I'm
just
just
saying
like
for me.
picturing the mom
I get
from
what you mean,
Family
though.
Guy.
It-
That
it's
voice is
dead
just
on.
grating. It's like fucking
Yeah.
Edith Bunker.
No.
It's not so bad when you're in the Navy and you pull in for Fleet Week. I gotta tell you that.
Well, any port in the storm, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, I mean
It's
that's
got
like
it's got a trashy quality to it, and then sometimes that's what you're looking for.
well, like we had Dustin Wood on, and he was talking about his. I think it was aunt and uncle.
Uncle Charlie.
Yeah, give me that baby batter.
I
Oh,
love
man.
an accent, man. I assimilate them. It feels like whenever I go around a new accent, I don't mean to start picking stuff up, but I do.
Oh yeah.
So I haven't ever had to pick up a Boston one. That'd be funny.
What accents? What accents can you do?
I can do native. I'm native. I know you
What the
can't
fuck's
tell.
a
I'm an
native
incognito
accent?
engine. So, but I'm native. Hard carry.
Incognito. Nice.
Incognito.
Nick, let's
engine,
hear your French accent. Let's
No.
go.
No.
Yeah, come on. You're a great
Ooh, wee wee.
impressionist. Yeah, let's go, Nick. Come on.
All right. What did I say before? I'm trying to think of it.
You said like souffle, or I don't know what you
Voulez-vous.
said.
Say a cheese.
Voulez-vous coucher à l'heure?
Who had that joke about all you got to do is say a cheese and a French hockey player's name, right? Wasn't that Burr? That sounds French.
I don't remember what you said. You said like je ne sais quoi or something. I don't know.
No, it was British.
Ah.
Well, you sucked at both.
Oh, it sucked. What I remember I don't know what you said, but it was bad.
I think French. I was just like, oh.
That's what you did. That's
Pepe
what
Le
you did.
Pew.
And then his British one was like, he sounded like, half tard. Like it was horrible. Like he was just like,
I think. Oh,
Yeah.
my British one. All right, you ready for the British one? It's gonna
Oh, yeah.
nail it. I promise. Oi.
no.
I know the French. I said baguette too. I was like baguette. Baguette.
You're so stupid.
Baguette.
I do. With languages, I want to find out what the gringo equivalent is for every language, But every time I ask a Mexican not Mexican, but like a Chinese person what their word for gringo is, they never can make the translation.
Guaylo.
Pakwai.
Guaylo.
Fuck why? Yeah.
White
They-
devil.
They don't call them gringos. They call them round eyes.
Round eye.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Guaylo is round eye. I think Buckwai is round eye.
No, it's white devil.
Oh.
I love that how you just knew that right there. That
I
was
used
dope.
to work with a lot of guys from Hong Kong, and I learned a lot of Cantonese. And
Nice.
I could get my ass kicked in Cantonese, which is always good to know.
Did you ask them what their obsession is with tentacle porn?
No, that wasn't a thing back
Japanese,
then.
man.
That's Japanese.
Hey, racist bastard.
Racist. Yeah.
So let's.
Get your weird porn fetishes right, damn it.
Oh
Right.
man.
I think I could watch tentacle.
You can watch anything.
Furry. I can't.
A furry? Why?
Yeah.
Because you had like an affair with your teddy bear when you were younger, and
No,
you
I
just can't watch furries now.
I'd like to see skin. Seeing furry boobs, I'm just like, all right. It's a furry
What if it
boob.
was a hairy chick?
Or
Ew.
a
I
hairless
believe it's
cat.
called Her Suit.
So I want to talk. Did you perform in the Savage Henry Festival?
I did this last festival, yes.
And I was really shocked at the size of it because I thought it was just up, there for Savage Henry, but they do shows at a bunch of different clubs all over different states.
Yeah, I don't know about the states, but I know around here we did a bunch of locations. I think there was 12 venues that shows were done at and stuff.
And the magazine's awesome. Like it always like features like a local comic or even like, a comic that's visiting, which I think is really cool.
And anyone can write for the magazine. Anyone can submit, funny. It has to be, appropriate for the magazine, but
it has to be funny. Damn it, I'm out.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be funny. Like, you don't go there to talk about science, unless it's bong science,
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That's dope.
but they're really cool people.
I've heard really good things. You seem pretty mixed in with them. Like who were the owners of Savage Henry?
Monica and Chris. Monica's my shotgunner on the mics, and Chris is her husband.
Okay.
Now, is the comedy club based on the comics?
No, the comedy club is based off of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That one scene where they talk about Savage Henry. Yeah, so it's based off of that, and then they had the magazine and just named them the same, as far as I'm aware. Yeah.
All right. Before we keep going, Sharon needs to head out. So Sharon, plug your stuff real quick.
You can see me on I Am Big Poetry Podcast. This is Sharon Smith, once again, the Poet Laureate. And also come to our show. We do it every Monday. We do a show called Social Distancing Verse on Sacramento Poetry Center.
Nice. All right, Sharon, get those eyes checked out.
Nice meeting you, man.
Nice meeting you, Paula. Nice meeting you, Orange Man.
Thanks, man. See you again.
All right, y'all. Hey.
Don't let him put a finger in your ass again.
I will try not to.
Or your eye socket. That wouldn't be good either.
Well, they get in there, they pop it out a little bit.
Good luck,
dog.
dog.
See y'all later.
Later.
You're
Speaking
not
of
even
bong,
going to the eye doctor. He's just having sex. I'm just kidding.
speaking
Taking
of
one eye
bong,
to the optometrist.
oh yeah, bong science, orange juice. Orange juice is by far the best
For what?
Is it?
for bongs.
No,
'Cause then you can drink it after.
you're disgusting.
No, isn't that
You're
cannibalism
so full of
for you?
shit. No.
Is it cannibalism
For him.
for Mr. Orange?
Mr. Orange did make.
I love me some orange juice, man.
Ooh, you're like,
My wife makes the best orange juice.
Your
I
wife
feel-
makes orange juice? Where do you live? Fucking Nantucket? You can't buy orange juice?
We make all kinds of stuff, man. We got a little farm going on over here now.
Are you in
nice.
Sacramento?
Yeah, we're north of Sacramento a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
the anonymity is getting annoying.
Well, he has a government job where he protects the president, so he needs to keep it under wraps, guys.
Please
Okay.
let it lapse.
Jesus.
Yeah, I would definitely be matrixing my way out of that bullet if I got the choice.
I wanted to talk to you. What are your opinions on, since Sharon brought up doing shows again, what are your opinions on opening up the clubs? Like, is there any talk about opening up soon at 25% capacity or anything?
yeah, our place has started doing drive-in mics out the back door using the service ramp, which is
Nice.
neat. Yeah, it's neat for the Sunday mic. That's the first one they brought back. But they didn't tell me. Like, I did my shit. I didn't expect to hear a lot of laughs, because there wasn't a lot of people. But there were people in their cars, and I thought that was cool. And they're beaming the sound to a radio station so people in their cars can hear, just like a movie theater. And so I do my shit, and I was, how it is first time back. And, I was happy with what I did. But I didn't hear anything, which is fine. Well, the next day, I'm talking to another dude. He's like, yeah, man, you tore it up. I'm like, what? He's like, didn't you see their lights going on and off? And I was like, that's how they show their applause is by
Very
hitting
cool.
their lights. I was like,
Oh,
well, damn. All night
that's
I'm
awesome.
like, give it up, bitch. But it was, so that's what they're doing. I personally, I'm a nurse, and we're nowhere near opening anything at all because it's not even gotten bad yet. That's the scary thing.
You're a nurse? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm a nurse by training.
Got to do some research, Danny.
Honestly, Paula, I was like, yeah, she runs Savage Henry magazine. Like, we're gonna get her fucking on the podcast. That's what we're doing.
And you're just a comic.
Well, it's just funny because
I don't give a shit. I love you to death.
She said that, so I was like, we're dealing with like the Griselda Blanco of fucking Savage Henry, the godmother. And then I didn't see it on your social media because I stalk you for to ask questions. So I messaged Danny and I'm like, are you sure she owns Savage Henry? She's like, maybe not.
Well,
but she is delightful.
Well, thank you. I rock all their gear because one, it's the only comedy stuff I have. I don't have anything for me specifically, and this is the only decent one I could put up from the shows, and plus, if they hadn't opened their spot, I would have never got to learn how to do comedy. So I will pack their name forever, Plus, I'm native, and I think the savage and the savage, it's just symbiotic, Yeah. Yeah, so
I get that. What's cool is one of the Savage Henry things you guys actually do at a casino.
No.
Yeah, I saw one of them was at a casino. One of the, I guess, multiple shows you guys have.
Well, yeah, the shows. Yeah, I thought you meant based out of the casino. But
no,
they do.
But
yeah,
that's
all
pretty
over
interesting.
Yeah, they do them in like restaurants and we have a tasting room for the local beer company, and they'll do them down there, and yeah.
And there's pretty good crowds that come out.
We're rural. We're a small area, so
I don't know
if there's a motorcycle race on, we won't get anybody.
Yeah. Where is Eureka? Like where? Like is it? By
I'm
Chico?
about an hour and a half from the north border. 2 hours south of the Oregon border.
Okay, so like by Dunsmuir or Shasta?
No, I'm coast. We're on the coast, literally Humboldt Bay.
Okay.
Yeah. If you were to make a left from Sac and drive to the ocean, little northerly, you'd hit it. Yeah.
I'll be there. I didn't know the ocean was there. That's even better.
It's not a swimming ocean. It's a looking ocean.
That's not true. Every ocean's a swimming ocean.
I was about to say, Danny will go in anything.
No. Yeah, we have sneaker waves. In fact, we just lost a kayaker a week ago. They were able to recover him, so that was good. He was only 19. It was a heartbreaker. So.
What are sneaker waves?
If you come up here and you try to get in that ocean, I'll knock you out.
Oh shit! You better record that shit.
I would to be wet.
I'll let you. Okay, you'll go in the rivers. I'll let you go in the rivers sometimes. Okay. Creeks all the time.
That's creeks. What's a creek?
A creek.
Yeah, it's a crick.
Crick.
You've been around David Thorne long enough to know what a crick is.
Yeah.
No.
I'm a local native, and we don't go in the rivers until after like 4th of July time of the year. So that's why I said the whole, rivers sometimes.
Yeah.
Because the rivers are hellish too. They're supposed to be,
Our river here is like a baby river. Like it's like a category 1. Like it's super like friendly. Like it's the lazy river. Like
because of all the homeless people slowing it down.
Oh, shut the.
Yeah, it's a nice place to live though in the summer. I don't blame the homeless people. That's a nice patch of ground to live in for a homeless person.
Chris Farley knew what he was saying. Live in a van down by the river.
Fucking A. I was homeless for one summer and I stayed at the camps around like South San Jose and and it was nicer than being in town. You could shit and piss anywhere you wanted, so half of the problem gone right there. Oh, I hated being homeless.
Oh God, I wouldn't make it in the summer being homeless. I'd never.
Homeless people are very creative. When I worked for the Park District, we had to take down some homeless camps every now and then. Like they actually made a sex room.
Holy shit!
Yeah, like
Burning Man.
It was this big wooded area, and they actually cut like these branches that hung over, so it was like a dome. And you go in there, condoms everywhere. Fucking porn just everywhere. And I was like, this is a sex room. This is awesome.
See, I just picture a tree with low-lying branches. You know what I mean? Like, is that the sex room? You just find a tree low.
Just as something to hold on to or bend over?
Do you have to, like, trade a can of soup to get in there? Like, what are you...
How do homeless people
what are homeless
money?
people doing using condoms? Regular people don't use condoms. Like,
they do.
They're expensive. When's the last time you bought a condom, Rob? Yeah.
Actually, I did throw out an expired pack.
Oh my God. They're like $14 for like 3.
No, it's not.
Yes,
what are
they
you
are.
fucking buying?
stuff that works, that doesn't break.
Uh-huh.
Magnum,
So
you can't fit.
around.
Yeah, you can't fit in a Magnum. You ain't getting in this.
I
You
can
know
use those
damn well
finger
that's not my
cots.
requirement. Fucking Magnum, go home.
That's like I remember. I forgot who it was. It was on Def Jam Comedy. This chick was like, "All these men buying Magnums. You see all that air at the top? That's supposed to be dick." Paula, what got you into comedy? Like, why get into it?
Well, not to sound cocky, but I've always been a funny little fucker. That came out totally wrong because I'm sounding cocky. That's why. And it's only at the insistence of like all my friends, forever, that I finally tried, and I dug it a lot.
You dug it a lot.
Yeah.
If
you knew what it takes for a mother of 6 kids to be able to go to a crappy open mic, it's got to be dedication. Because I don't even chase dick like this, like I just don't even fuck with it.
Right?
But these mics and yeah, but it is tricky to do comedy about your kids in the house with your kids. I gotta say, it's touchy. It's hard.
Well, you could just do what Danny did and have them fucking sit right there while you do comedy.
I don't lie to my kids. Fuck you. They know me.
Hey, and you're a single mom, right?
Yeah, both my kids are straight. Well, no, their dad's still around. I mean, he's
Oh, that's
there.
good.
But we're not married. But yeah, I mean, my kids hear more than they should, but that's just because they won't go away. So I'm just trying to get them to go in the other room or something. If you don't want to hear, don't. I'm doing shit. Get out of here. Scram.
Yeah. Well, the reason I asked is because there's a when I found with the solo woman raising my kids that I don't have that layer there that I would if my spouse was here, because the kids, you know what I mean? There's not a wall because you're there with your kids and you're living your life, but there's almost like a backup. I think it's the backup thing. You know what I mean? Like you just have someone there with you but when you're raising your kids on your own, you get very intimate, their life is your life and there's, for me, no distractions from them,
Oh, you're a better mom than me. No, I don't.
Well, I just purposely didn't want to fuck with it, but that's how my life went, and that's how it worked for me, which is great. And your kids obviously love you, and
Yeah, and they're good kids. They're way better than I ever was. I mean,
right? So
fucking A. I'm impressed.
I have to remind myself of that all the time. Like they are way better than I was, so just calm down a little bit.
right.
Do you do comedy, orange guy?
Not a lot. We started getting into a lot of this. We did a podcast. That's how I met Nick. And then one of my partners had a lot of family stuff come up. His mom passed, and there were some other things. So we took a break, and I haven't been doing this for a while. And I just hit him up the other day. This is the first time I've been on mic, I guess, in over a year and a half now. I was really into it for a while. But like I said, we got a little sidetracked on our projects, but we've been coming back around. So I reached out to Nick, said, if you ever need a guest host, I'd like to start doing it again.
And Nick doesn't say no to anyone. So
yeah, so
That's not true.
Who do you say no to?
I mean, no one yet, but there's gonna be.
It's coming.
I should create.
But he could.
I could create a list.
I am the
There's a couple
gatekeeper.
that you're not okay with.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
So.
No, I'm meaner than all of you on here, and I will, like when Subish Sharman, if no one understands you, homie, get out of here.
All right, so Paula, just so you know, she's right. I say yes a lot. And this guy, Subish Sharma, I mean, he's a good guy. He's a great guy, but yeah, his accent is so thick. He's Nepalese. You can't understand him. And he comes up and I assumed he asked me when am I going to be on the podcast? I didn't understand him. But I said yes, and then the fucker didn't even show up.
You know why? Because I scared him away. I said, you better not show up.
I mean,
Paula, have you ever been to Sacramento for comedy?
No, that was going to be my next stop. I've hit the Santa Rosa scene. I've hit the Frisco scene. And then I've met Jackie and a couple other comics that come to the festival, I think, from your area.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a
but
lot
since
of
these Zooms, I know Sam Medina, and I know a bunch of his wife, you know Sam.
Yeah, they're in San Jose.
Yeah. But you guys all fuck around with each other, right? Like they come up, you go down there. No.
Big orgies,
Yeah.
comedy orgies left and
Yeah, no,
right.
we do. I used to go before COVID. I'd go to the Bay Area once or twice a week.
Yeah. That'd be dope.
I mean, these guys used to do comedy, and then I don't know. They just focus more on the podcast. But you know, it would be great if my boys came out to an open mic at Scoreboards and had some fun with us.
I was there in February, and then the world ended. So I'll go back when it's done being fucking.
When your wife says you can go back outside.
No, I'll go back when it feels safe. I think it's stupid to be out there right now.
I'm gonna lick your face next time I see you.
No, it'll be a while.
Yeah, it's gonna be a couple years, guys. I mean,
Years? You think years?
I think
To
Based on
move
how
freely-
we're treating it.
to move freely, like before masks and lockdown. But people are always going to be conscientious of this, and it acts so different in so many different scenarios. You know, polio acted like polio. You know, whooping cough acts like whooping cough. You know, this acts like Satan. So give it some time.
Yeah.
Lots of time.
Sorry, I'm just writing notes.
the end of the world.
On how long to stay locked up?
No, I have to write down what we talk about so I can put it in the tweets and the shit.
That's
Oh,
cool.
yeah. He does everything, so
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so don't give me
whatever.
any shit, Danny.
he's a good guy.
Fuck, I was gonna say something and I forgot.
Good.
Well,
So you're 35, Nick.
there we go.
How old are you, orange guy?
I'm 41.
Yeah, so Nick, you're the youngest on here. I'm gonna just assume. Paula, are you younger than 35?
Me?
Yeah, no, probably
I'll
not.
send you a check.
20.
Fuck,
Oh.
yeah, I'm about 34 and 25, 25th. No, I'm kidding.
But he acts the oldest out of all four of us. I guarantee.
Like
you.
an old man.
He goes to bed at like 7:30.
Yeah, doesn't he get up early to like jerk people off though on the East Coast?
No,
No,
now with COVID, my sleep is all fucked
he
up.
doesn't do shit.
Nothing
Aw.
at all.
I
That's
do
terrible.
Man, if I could have your youth, Nick, if I could just have it.
I saw
I
a
think it's-
picture of him when you were a teenager. That was a funny
Mm.
one today.
That was a good one.
With your wife beater on.
Yeah.
I love a good wife beater.
Yeah, I let myself go.
Yeah, you did.
Oh yeah.
I even had that was when I had, believe it or not, Paula, I had the Sugar Ray frosted tips in high school.
We
I
believe
looked for those in the picture. I didn't see them.
Oh, they call those guy lights now, right? That's what the Jersey Shore kids say.
They
Wow.
call
Those
them guy
guy
lights? That's fucking
Yeah.
great.
Skylights.
Because you can't call them gay lights, because gays don't look like that,
No, they look better.
right?
Much better than douchebags.
There has to be
There have
gay
to be gay
douchebags.
douchebags. Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have-
100%.
Yeah. There's
I don't
douchebags
know.
in every, like there's douchebag women. We just call them, bitches.
You call him Danny?
Yeah, exactly.
That's hella funny because at the last open mic I just went to, I was like, that girl and I'd be friends. We're attracted to the same kind of guy, douchebag. And I was like, but I'm a douchebag. And then I was like, it's going on about that. But anyways, I guess I am a douchebag.
Yeah, Paula, if you saw a man in bedazzled jeans on his butt
Ooh.
with an Ed Hardy t-shirt and an Ed Hardy trucker hat, would you get wet?
Mm-mm.
Get wet. I just try to talk to them. It's not like I just like it melts over here. No, you got to do a little more than that.
They'd be fun to toy with. They'd be fun to toy with, but I
Would you fuck a guy with a Mr. Go Fast tattoo?
On his neck.
Mr. Go Fast. What's that mean?
It
Like
That's-
literally
says,
go fast?
that's what it says, Mr. Go Fast.
No, because if he has to advertise, shit's bunk, right? Because all advertisements are pretty much bunk. So yeah.
He was a motorcycle driver,
I was gonna say.
and that's what his nickname was. So he tattooed it on his neck. Fuck you.
Well,
He
see,
was
that
pretty
changes
cute.
I feel like Nick's just going down Danielle's roster, like just making sure.
Because I send him pictures of the guys I fuck, and I'm like, oh, look at what I scored, or look at what I got, or whatever. And Nick's like, oh my God, that guy's a douche.
I think there needs to be a group chat where we have a douche-meter and we just figure out
Ooh.
how.
Oh, it's off the charts.
Oh, what we should do, game show,
Yeah.
There you
Danny
go.
date or no. right? We have a bunch of guys, and which one did she date? You know,
shit.
that'd be fucking fun.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have
You
to
could be
date
the
him?
judge,
Can I just...
Danny. You could be the judge. You know.
Okay.
Be a
Or actually, why don't
Strange.
each of you pick a guy for me? Because my 2020 life has been bullshit. So,
I thought the season was over.
well, if you have an air conditioner, I might make an exception. I'm
Do you
lonely.
The air conditioner is integral, man.
If you had AC.
Yeah. If you work at a convenience store and we can go in the freezer, that works too. I don't know.
Sounds like someone's a bougie bitch.
Yeah.
Quarantine has been long.
Yeah. And I've been adhering to the guidelines.
Just rub
for
some
sure.
ice cubes on my back. You can have whatever you want.
Those
Ew,
are
do you have a
nice
hairy
kids.
back?
No, I have no hair in my body. I'm an orange. Look at me.
He's
I-
fucking going for this thing.
Nick doesn't have hair on his body either. He's got 13 chest hairs? I think I
Oh,
have
I
more
have
chest
zero
hairs than
chest
you.
hairs.
Yeah.
No, I'm none.
That's gross. What are you, 12?
My wife loves it.
Chest
No,
hair.
I look like. No, I don't know. I don't have body hair a lot. I just
No.
have big manly calves and a gnarly looking beard and Jesus hair.
Oh
So-
shit, Cav off. Rob,
Oh,
Oh.
down.
Calf.
are you down with the big calves?
Who, me? Am I down?
No,
with
I'm
them?
talking to Paula because I saw her
Oh,
shaking her head like, ooh, big calves.
Well, it means that they're not lazy, right? Because a lot of men nowadays, from gaming for so long, they just soft, you know.
Yeah.
Rob is
I
born
got
with big
nice calves.
calves.
I'm a big girl,
Working
but I got
man.
nice calves.
Ah.
You have nice calves?
I do.
Okay.
I'm like, I do.
Well, no, Rob, yeah, he was born. He popped out, and the doctors were like, "Good Lord, look at this baby's calves.
Woo.
They are
Just-
fucking they are gorgeous beyond."
Popped
belief.
Just
out the
from
va- just
supporting my
Started doing
fat
jumping
ass.
jacks. Yeah.
But you weren't always fat,
No.
remember? And you still have nice calves.
I think
You
it's
showed
just
a
genetic.
picture. I was like, damn, boy. If I was born, I would have taken you. But, he's super old, so I wasn't born yet. It wasn't fair.
I was looking up actually calf tattoos today for like a Liverpool thing. I'm a big football fan, and this guy, I saw one and I thought it was his arm until I exploded the picture, and then I realized it was his calf. It just looked like a stick. I was like, that looks terrible, man.
By the way,
Quit
Mr. Orange,
skipping later.
we're in America. We call it soccer.
Yeah, I heard that. And I used to not even like the sport at all. Like, it's 4 years ago, I was complete antagonist. I hated it, talked shit about it. It was a dumb sport. And then I accidentally got hooked just trying to play a prank on a guy. And now that's what I was doing before this conversation started. I'm a big fan.
Better not.
Wait, did you just refer to soccer as football?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Funny, man.
no. The two different sports.
Listen,
I would fuck either
Yeah.
player, but two different sports.
I'm just freaked out that you got switched over by a prank.
it was just to
Man,
fuck
it
with the
was
guy.
like,
And I got hooked. I just happened to pick a team, Liverpool, that got good right when I picked them. It was a complete freak accident. And
You've always loved it. Now you just have a
no,
reason
I
to.
haven't.
Yeah.
I do now, though.
By the way, pick a better team. Manchester United, buddy.
See, that's exactly why I'm a Liverpool fan, because my neighbor's from Manchester, and I wanted to fuck with him. So I Googled Manchester United biggest rival, and Liverpool came up.
Oh, you're a dick.
Oh yeah, just to fuck with him. I bought a scarf, and I held on to it for like over a year. My wife was like, "When are you going to show Paul the scarf?" And I was like, "Yeah, time will come." I waited till we got in a poker game, and like midway through, in a big hand, I just reached underneath my chair where I had my little bag, and I pulled out this Liverpool scarf, and he was blown away. I did nothing but talk shit about soccer the whole time we'd known each other. I just said, "Yeah, it's a third world sport. I don't give a shit. It's dumb. It's stupid. That's all. The rules are dumb."
And now you have a David Beckham poster in your bedroom.
Oh my god! I wanted to really fuck with him. I'm really dedicated to my pranks. Like, I have a 3-year-old prank right now brewing on one of my coworkers. Like, I go deep on this shit.
You ain't got shit
And
to
so-
do you?
No, I sit around a lot at work.
No.
But
Have you ever
So
thought
I-
about calling a phone sex operator while you're just sitting around? We could talk
I
about
should
this
do that.
soccer fetish you have. It's only $1.59 a minute.
Look at you go, man. You just make me smile.
I haven't even been logged in like 2 months. I'm like so done talking to these perverts.
It gets a bit much.
Appeal
You know,
your
I am an
mind.
alumni. I
Yeah,
have
she
worked
used
to
to do
work.
phone sex.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
what is
Yeah.
that like? Let's hear. I want to hear like a weird story about an already weird situation. Like,
All right, let me close the bedroom doors. The kids don't
Okay.
get hang on.
Oh shit! It's about to get
this is
juicy up in this
gonna be
bitch.
good. Make sure my kids aren't busy. Wait, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, because I'm gonna get loud when it's my turn.
Okay,
Not-
so I got it
can't
set the
see
scene for you.
his
I'm
hands.
like 5 or 6 years into my marriage. My husband knows we're doing this because I need the money. I had a relative who turned me on to the job, told me about the work, taught me how to do the basics like taking the charge. The rest of it is ad-libbing, you know? So I used to do it in the garage. At the time, I think my kids were like 5 and 3. They were young. So I'd go out there at night and I'd do my thing. And after the first couple times, my husband, I'd come in and he's like, hey, what's going on out there? And I'm like, I'm thinking it. Like, you know, he's like, well, you never make that noise for me. And I'm like, because I don't fake it with you. Well, can I get some of that? I said, it's $1.99 a minute, bitch. It was so awkward though, but I had a really cool story. So I had a customer in South America. He liked to be spanked. He liked to send me pictures of being in certain outfits, sitting on certain things, being spanked. The technology at the time was there was no mass media. You know, this is like 2000, right? So shit would move slowly. So I get these pictures from him, like it was weird. He liked to be spanked, and the better spanking job I did. And I thought in the beginning, like, no problem, like a spank. Shit, blowjobs are easy. This should be fucking easy too, you know? Like, shoot. But it was hard. I actually had a hard time with the Foley, you know? Like, I couldn't get the sound just right. But one day I was making my kids a sandwich, and they were fighting about something stupid. And as I was putting the cheese and the mayonnaise and all that, and I slapped the spatula down to growl at them, and I heard that sound. I was like, oh, that's it. I made like $350 that night, man. It was so cool. Yeah.
I fucking love how you refer to it as being a Foley. That seriously is like the evolution of sound.
Right? Well, I was in character, you know? Like, God, it was awkward as shit, though. My poor old man, he was like...
Right.
But honey, there's a reason I don't, you know, and he got it eventually. But then I couldn't do it because he thought I'd be faking. You know, it was a weird conundrum.
$1.99 a minute, what do the operators actually get out of that?
If you run your own shit, I think most of it, right?
Yeah.
I would think. Yeah.
So I do it currently. I pay a company to market me, and I get 20%. Or no, I get 80%. They get 20%. But I'm a smart girl, so like I have, you know, clients or guys that have my direct number, and they Venmo me and Cash App me.
Right.
Like I got a free trip to the White House. I got some Splenda daddies. I don't have a sugar daddy yet. I'm still looking for the guy to
Splenda daddy.
I've got one in sight. But yeah, I'm just looking to Anna Nicole Smith someone. That's it.
It wouldn't be me. I wouldn't be the hustler I am if I didn't say, hey, if you ever need an extra girl, I'll go in your whorehouse.
Right.
You know, I'll work with you. Come out of the closet.
I mean, it's just a little different now because I do sell my pictures online. I sell videos, and I do these guys that call me. Some of them are really weird. Like, you know, I heard a guy fuck a goat once.
He was fucking a goat while you were talking to him?
Look at Orange, he's like leaning in like, what?
Oh no, I had to make sure I heard that shit right. Like,
yeah, well,
you don't got ears, so.
Cause you hear the goat like, bah, bah.
Yeah, he was like, well, tell me what you want me to do to this goat. And I was like, just lift that tail up and shove your cock deep inside of it. I want to hear that goat scream. And I was like, oh my God, you're probably fucking a goat. And I was like, and he's like, oh, he kicked me. And I just hung up. I didn't know.
Oh my word.
Yeah. But he, you know, like guys do all kinds of weird shit. I had a guy once who was jacking off on the side of the road, and a cop came up to him because he was like parked, you know, before he got home, whatever he was doing. And he was like, fuck, I'm getting pulled over. And he just put the phone down. So I got to listen to the whole interaction, and he got in trouble for having like his dick out. And then, you know, it was just really.
And he paid you for you to listen to all that.
He was nervous. He didn't hang up, and I wasn't going to.
You're so smart. Yes.
Yeah.
Score 2.
Yeah, I'll put you on hold for a minute and just, you know, I don't know.
Right?
Do my nails.
Yeah, like I'll be like,
I was doing my nails. Right?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Have you ever taken a call while taking a shit?
Please tell me yes.
Not because that's what they wanted, but like.
No, but well, I mean, I live my life. If I gotta pee, if I gotta shit, you know, I just.
I'm just curious.
If you faked an orgasm while taking a good shit, it'd probably sound pretty real.
I mean, I sound pretty real.
Yeah.
But
I bet.
But Paula, I imagine yours was a lot busier because yours was in 2000. So that was like when, because it still boggles both Rob and I that people will call these things still.
They're
Yeah,
lonely.
Yeah, it's all about loneliness. It's almost like counselor. The weirdest thing across the board, I'd say 99.5% of all phone calls, you have a long talk or whatever your talk was, you're connecting, you feel things, right? You know, you're just there for them. But then they never say thank you or goodbye. They just hang up.
hang up.
It's the weirdest,
Really?
and that hurts my fucking feelings because I just wasted. I didn't waste. You know, like, come on, man.
No, I don't want to hear. I don't want to. Just hang up. Get off the phone.
Really?
I mean, get off. I don't like the guys that are like, tell me what you want me to do with my cum, and I'm like, I want you to lick it, and they're like, okay, and then I can hear them like licking it, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go.
You
Tell
told
them to
them.
stick it in their ear or something. Make it fun, man.
You know, I had a guy slam his dick in a door once, and he hung up. He was like, I gotta go, and then he called back, and he's like, I had to go to the emergency room, and I was like,
Idiot.
sorry.
You know, my relative had a customer that he would ask her to send him on scavenger hunts across the country where he would fly into different places and she would mail stuff ahead of time, and it was this big old, and part of the deal was that he would hurt himself along the way, you know, at his request, like slamming his something, you know, or yeah, and then having to go out and catch somebody and use it, you know. It was
No.
crazy.
Weird.
So yeah, that's not even weird though. In this world, that's not even
Oh
weird.
yeah, that's not weird.
That's-
Nick's heard some shit because I take my calls in front of people. Like I live my life, so if you're around me, you're gonna hear a phone sex call. It's just
So you're having coffee with like the soccer moms, like pouring tea and like some
Moms
dude's
don't
fucking.
hang out with
Soccer
me.
moms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, moms don't hang out with me really.
My bad.
I have
So-
a couple of friends, and the rest of the people in the world just can't handle me.
Yeah. Go fuck them.
I don't give a shit. I don't
Keep
fuck
the circle small and tight, right? That's all I do.
I kind of like it just to get attention when I'm out. I'll be like, oh, yeah, daddy. And then people will like look at me, and sometimes I'm not even on the phone. I just do it.
That could be its own YouTube channel right there.
That's their superpower, man. That's their
Yeah.
superpower.
Taking orgasms.
All right,
See, I
let's-
always wanted to laugh when I did that shit. You know, they could not tell, but you know, I could just easily have laughed and made them laugh versus that.
I can't get guys to shut up, right, Nick?
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the comedy.
Sorry.
All right.
We digress.
That was pretty funny to me, though.
That's a weird tangent. You go from soccer, which is what it is,
Put it
to that. Tienes
You can
jugar
call it in there.
fútbol?
Yeah.
I know.
I'm
Say
big
it
on the
again?
pranks.
Oh, I was just speaking Spanish. 2 years of Spanish 1. Tienes jugar fútbol?
So you're admitting you failed it the first time? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
2 years of Spanish.
I failed it
one?
royally. I took Spanish 2 online.
I feel like it's impossible to live in California and fail Spanish. Like,
Well, now
Fuck
you
I
got
don't know Spanish.
now you got Google Translate.
not enough to. I mean, now it's a whole different ball game. But
But
Yeah.
Paula,
I guess you are pretty young. You remember the internet from a young age.
yeah, I
That's old
remember
folks stuff.
dial-up.
Barely.
That's
Don't
where
lie
I
to us.
grew up, man.
Don't lie to us.
So, Paula, you mentioned that you're Native American. Do you feel Native Americans aren't represented in comedy very well?
There's not many. You know. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think there's a specific reason, or just they don't want to try it?
No, I think that the bias is so hard to get started, you know, just to get mic time, or the bias against natives is as strong as the bias against blacks. Those are the two king races that get picked on in this country, you know. So that's would be every step of the way. And to be native, you'd have to be super, super confident in your abilities to put yourself out, because native culture, you know, you get teased if you do a good job and you get raised if you don't. So there's a lot of other factors. Just, you know, it's just hard, you know. It's just hard. Like right now, if Trump wanted, he could literally order every native back to the reservation. If he I don't know if he knows law doesn't work, it's there, but literally, you know.
I don't think he
That's
understands sovereign nation whatsoever.
I don't think he understands anything. I feel like I picked
he doesn't.
the worst fucking stage name I could have picked when I picked Mr. Orange and that asshole got elected. It's like, man, I fucked that one up. Everyone's gonna think I'm a fucking Trump supporter. As far as I'm concerned, he's the Oompa Loompa in the fucking Oval Office. Like, I can't stand that motherfucker. And I'm a vet, and it hits me a little bit harder because I really feel like he's just crossed lines.
And you've seen those pictures.
Everybody vote, man. I don't want to go down this. I don't want to make this.
Yeah, I don't either. We don't talk about politics.
I was about to say, too late.
Yeah, no, we don't have to go down that road. Just everybody vote. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely, vote.
But know what you're fucking voting for. Don't just go and vote. No, get knowledge and then go vote. Don't fucking just go vote.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
very valid point.
Yeah, don't waste your vote.
Don't just show up and just check randomly. It's a fucking age of the internet now. Like, whenever my kids ask me how to do anything, the first thing I say to them, when I got told to look in the encyclopedia, now it's did you Google it? Like, don't come to me until you've tried to solve a problem and then you can't solve it. And
it's so
easy. It's so easy just to
well, and a lot of people will go in that I know and they're like, oh, I just wrote down Mickey Mouse. And I'm like, why would you, or like, I wrote down, Hitler, or whatever they fucking say. And I'm just like, that's not, you're not supposed to do that. Like, you just wasted your time just to get a fucking sticker.
Yeah. Well, my feelings of 2016, when people said they're voting for Jill Stein, I would talk to him. Like, please don't. Like, pick a side if nothing else, but don't do that. Now, if they tell me they're going to write in something stupid, I want to punch them in their mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, now's not the
time. There's no time for that. I can't get into it because we don't do that here. So let's move on to something else, dog. Come on.
Although, if someone's running unopposed, feel free to put my name in. That's fine.
Big Nick Johnson.
Don't put big. Just put Nick Johnson. And if you want to send right-wing literature to anybody, email thestandupdads@gmail.com.
I actually just I kept getting shit.
Supporters.
No, fuck you. I kept getting right-wing bullshit from an old coworker on Facebook, and I wrote him back. So just please stop. The best thing this fucking orange clown could fucking do is eat a bullet. And I haven't heard from him since. So hopefully I don't get any more of his bullshit. I mean, he was like sending me like all this propaganda about how the Clintons did all this. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, just
delete it.
I know, but he just kept doing it. And because I never responded to him. And I just got fed up. And
it's annoying when people are persistent with shit. Like, hey, babe, you want to hang out? Hey, babe, you want to hang out? Hey, babe, why are you ignoring me? Why are you ignoring me? Fuck you.
Hey, Nick, when am I going to be on the podcast? Hey, Nick, when am I going to be on the podcast?
That's right. That's right. You know what? Monday night, I got a really good compliment for us, and I'm just going to say it. I was at an open mic, and someone was like, I'm a huge fan of your show. And I was like, what show? Oh, and he's like, your podcast. He's like, I've listened to every episode, and I fucking love it. And I was like, his name is Austin. I'll send you it later. I don't know. His name's Austin, but he literally, and he didn't lie. He listened, because I asked him, I was like, who was your favorite guest? What did we talk about?
I don't even know that.
And it was pretty cool. So we're doing good.
Was it Austin Green? Isn't that the guy that's married to Megan Fox? Austin Green?
I would have fucked him on that.
Brian Austin Green, right?
Was married, yeah.
It was Brian Austin Green.
Yeah.
They're not married anymore.
No, it's just some 20-year-old kid.
Nice.
I want to ask something else. Would it be possible to bring like comedy into the reservations?
Oh yeah.
It would?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I think we need to bring more stuff to the reservations to help them out because they are dying in mass numbers right now. And it's heartbreaking. Like Trump instead of sending the tests that they asked for the Navajo people, he sent body bags.
Are you serious?
Not one box of wholesale body bags. Multiple instead of the tests. They don't have running water on like a ton of their reservation. So they have to buy their water to drink and to bathe. So imagine having to have more water.
What part of what this is gonna sound really stupid, I'm so sorry, but what kind of Indian are you? Like what tribe are you with?
I'm Hoopa, Northern California, Indian.
Okay, do you have papers and stuff too? Like you get
I'm card carrying. Yes.
That's what they call it. Okay.
Just blows my mind that we still have reservations at all.
Do you get money from casinos?
Our casino isn't that kind of casino, sadly,
What?
but one day it will be.
Yeah, get on that.
So
Start it.
Yeah.
We'll start a comedy club in there too. I love this.
hey, I'm all, yeah, but yeah, that's my place. You know, it's
That's dope.
super sacred. Yeah, and we can't have any of our dances this year either, so it really sucks because we can't gather. We can't gather.
So you're literally like, you go to Indian like festivals and you do like watch people with the headdresses and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's why
God,
I call myself incognito Indian, because you couldn't tell it by looking at me, you know, because I don't have the darker skin and the straighter hair and black.
Can you bring friends?
I raise my babies in baby baskets, and yeah, all that.
Go to that. I want to go.
Yeah.
What about, do you do sweat lodges?
We do sweats. I haven't been in one myself for a really long time, but yeah.
Yeah,
It's part of the regimen, you know.
Yeah, we have one in Lincoln, and one of my friends wanted me to go, and then I was just asking him about it, and he was like, "Yeah, sometimes you'll get guys going out there just puking their guts out, but that's what the soul needs to be cleansed." And I'm like, that doesn't sound too healthy to me.
And
though.
you're sweating?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, the purpose is to sweat.
No.
Well, it's
like a sauna.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
you
the
do it
same
in
philosophy.
you do it in levels, right? Like the first level is
Mhm.
not so hot, and then you bring it to a medium, and then the last level is just super hot.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's
I would
winter
always
time.
recommend that you check who's running the sweat. You know what I mean? Because that's opening all your whatevers. And, there was a bunch of guys a few years ago that got arrested in trouble because people were dying at these, like, bougie sweats,
Mhm.
and that's just sinful. Really.
Well,
I'm super out of shape. Like, I never sweat. Like, really. I just I can't handle it. I don't like it.
That's a
It's
bad
gross.
thing if you don't sweat.
I mean, I sweat outside, but like I try do everything I can to not sweat. I just don't like it.
Somebody getting a call?
Not me.
Oh, that was my kids are trying to be slick and reach me. They don't want to come in the room because I told them I'm on a podcast. They're calling again.
You're on the most professional podcast in Sacramento. I said
I
it.
told them. I read all your stats to them. I
You should have
can't.
said, "Mommy's having fucking phone sex. Don't bother me."
Oh, they'd have a heart attack if I said that.
I know. Then maybe they would
Hang
be
on.
like
Can
so
you just-
hurt.
Can you hang on 1 second?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
No.
Well, getting back to the sweating, I married into a Russian family, and they're big on the saunas.
Yeah. Do they beat you?
They do with the eucalyptus tree. You lay.
Oh.
I'm serious. You lay on the bench, and they beat your back.
I think
You
I saw
say
that on
roll.
90 Day Fiance. Actually.
Yeah, no, it's legit. And then you go outside and they have a giant tub that you dunk yourself into that's just got cold water in it. Feels pretty good.
How do you say I
Let's
love
get-
you in Russian?
Vlu blue.
No way.
It's probably
Maybe-
No way.
Vlu blue, because we have a running joke because I couldn't say it that it was blub blub. And so it's just been like our running I love you joke. But I believe, I'm not saying it right, it's Vlu blue.
You're not
Fact
getting
check.
guttural. Russians get guttural, like blue blue.
Look it up, man. Play that shit through Google
That's
Translate.
German. You're fucking
No,
being still
all right. Damn
Das
it. Now I
Vidanya. There, I'm every fucking Bond villain ever. Das Vidanya. There you go.
I-
All right. Anybody have any more questions before we get to our very famous thing?
What are your thoughts on Crystalia?
Oh,
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah.
When I heard what the topic was that he was in trouble for, it turned me all the way off. And I try to save my rage for more important shit.
Yeah.
But seriously, like, that's fucked up. I'm total anti-pedophile. Like, like, if people knew how bad it was for these kids and what's happening around the world right now with kids, and like, don't tell me she's an underage woman. She's
What
not
I-
an underage woman. She's
What I
a
think
child.
he did was wrong, but do you think the chick lied to him? Because when I was a minor, I lied to a lot of guys about my age.
Well, see, that's why you don't fuck around with them. That's why you don't hang with them. That's why you don't call them. That's why you don't text them. You can't trust kids. You just can't.
Yeah, that's why you
That's
don't hang
my
around
feeling.
teacher assistants either.
But seriously, if you don't want to be, everybody's so happy to blame right now too. So if he is being wrongly accused on her, so be it. You know what? I don't know. That's fucked. I didn't even know any of that. So
I don't think any of us were there to assume what it was. Same thing with Louis C.K. and I mean Bill Cosby was kind of proved out, but I just think that
Louis admitted
the only reason I fucking bring it up is because my friend called me the other night and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't want to tell you." And she's like, "Why?" And I said, "I'm watching the Crystalia special on Netflix." And she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe," and then she hung up on me and she's mad at me. And I'm like, get the fuck over yourself. Like, I don't give a shit. I mean, honestly, he didn't touch my kids. It's fine. For me, personally, it's okay. Like, I don't approve of what he did, but I also wasn't there. I don't know the story. Same thing with Louis C.K. I just don't think we're in the right time to be canceling comics. Like, I just don't.
Did you think
like it?
The special was good? Because I didn't make it through about 15 or 20 minutes. I would have been mad at you just for watching it.
Oh, I watched the whole thing. I thought it was good.
Really? I don't know. I couldn't get into it. I like him, too. I've liked him since he was on that 80s show that they made back in the day. But
It was on
I feel
80s
bad.
show?
It was like the
80s show. That was horrible.
I'd have to look it up. It wasn't the 80s show that was the answer to the 70s show, but it was like a baseball team in college, and he was like there forever. He'd been like in college for way too long, which probably also doesn't look good in light of the current conversation.
No, but all of his friends.
Another character he played that was stuck around too long.
All of his friends have like, taken a step back too, and they're like not.
Oh, Whitney definitely felt. I felt
like
she threw. I'm not saying she threw him under the bus, but she didn't offer any support.
No, I don't know.
Well, unfortunate.
It makes his character on You really put that into perspective, doesn't it?
I haven't watched that. I read about it. I haven't watched it yet.
It made me want to stalk her so bad.
Since we're talking about this, Paula, not like it's not controversy, but do you know who Hannah Gatsby is?
No.
Thank you.
Good. No, she's Australian. Jesus.
Oh, okay.
She's not funny.
It's the same
It's
thing.
all the same.
So anyways, Paula, basically Hannah Gatsby, she puts out these quote unquote comedy specials where there's really very little laughter. And she actually was quoted as saying, comedy doesn't need to be funny.
Then you're doing spoken word.
Yeah,
right?
but like Netflix is saying it's a comedy special. That's what she does.
Well, maybe she's so, I was going to say something smarty, but I don't know the bitch, so I'm just going to.
Well, no, she's hugely famous. It's not like just a low-level comic, so feel free to shit on her.
Well, maybe she's just funny to look at, like funny to watch her be, instead of what's coming out of her mouth.
Too. Yeah. I mean, what I think is funny, you may not think is funny. People love fucking some comics, and I'm like, oh, God, no. Everyone takes comedy in their own perspective. I just don't think comedians should, like I just feel sometimes when I'm on stage, the things I say, especially now with all the shit going on, like, we just recently took a group picture of us at an open mic, and some comics here in Sacramento were like totally shitting on us.
I saw that.
It's like, you know what? Fuck you guys. If you don't want to come, cool. You're not missed. But like, don't shit on us just because, I'm over it. I'm done.
The best antidote for that shit is don't react to it. I know
it didn't, but I really want to.
Tell, but
that's why I'm just done with Facebook. It's getting too political and just too people fighting each other. I'm just like, what the fuck?
It's stupid.
Man, well, that's by design. That whole thing is meant to divide people. Yeah, all of us. Yeah, we're not meant to know this much about each other. Society, it can't. It's too much. And whoever the powers that be that are pushing all these fucking buttons, they need to stop. Just stop. Pick a fucking side. God damn, I can't even get into it. Anyways, all right.
Yeah, and if you pick the side, the right side, the conservative side, remember email thestandupdads@gmail.com. Oh my God!
Do you guys think when I become famous that guys are just going to come out of the woodworks and be like, "She touched me inappropriately"?
That's why you need NDAs, baby. You should have those printed up already.
I have consent forms. I do.
There you go. So you got to just give everybody one. So you can run your mouth in a safe parameter.
I'd probably just be like, yeah, she probably did. So what?
All right, just don't cancel me, you guys.
Well, what I've seen from this whole like cancel culture, like this sports guy tweeted something and he was quoting Biggie, and in it was the N-word, and people were like, "We're going to cancel you. This is ridiculous." And his reply literally was, it was a quote from Biggie, whatever, and it just fucking went away.
Well. Yeah, they're doing it for a reaction, I think, and that's also not all the way natural either. You know, there are literally people whose job is to go around and irritate people and get them riled up. And it's been like that for what, 10 years now? Like since the Occupy movements and stuff, like people are just so already wound up that, you know, which way to blow it.
Oh yeah, and it's hot.
And it's hot, and the fucking
hot.
icebergs are melting,
And
the
no
water's
one's
disappearing.
worked in 3 months.
No one's what?
No one's worked in 3 months.
Well, every day's a Saturday for me.
So bless your heart, baby. Bless your lucky heart.
Come and spend a Saturday with me, Paul. Let's go.
I'm looking forward to it, actually. I am. I want to come over there and do comedy anyways, because now I'm like a fiend.
Yeah, way to skip Sacramento and go right to Santa Rosa.
It was close to the house.
Oh,
like
okay.
for mom job, I could get home quick. And
Santa Rosa's way better than Sacramento.
I'm a hotel horse, so I'll go about anywhere if I can stay in a hotel and have a little room service. You know what I mean? So I don't give me checks, just pay my bill.
You
Get
and
me out
I
of the
have
house away from the kids legally. Like, come on.
You and I have different definitions of a hotel whore.
You're a motel rat. That's what you are. You're a motel rat.
All right, we're gonna get into our very famous thing, and I'll wait till Danny.
No, just go.
All right. It's called Inside the Comic Studio.
Brilliance.
Before we get into it, though, Paula, plug your social media, plug any shows you want to plug anything you want. Etsy, I don't care.
Okay, well, I didn't study for this, so did I mail these to you? I didn't memorize this shit.
Yeah, I can. Let me get it real quick.
I don't want to get it wrong. Like, that would so suck.
Yes, let me take a look for it.
I think on Facebook, I'm just Paula Mattocks.
So on Instagram, you're Paula Comedy. On Twitter, you're at Hoopa Mama, HOOPA Mama. Facebook, just Paula L. Mattocks. And then what about your Zoom shows?
So I do Tuesday at 9 o'clock Pacific time is my Zoom called Big Fish Open Mic. And then on Sundays at 5 o'clock is what we call our Sunday service open mic. And that's Pacific time as well, because that matters in these Zooms, you know, people from all over the place. It's awesome. I'm actually in a show July 2nd with Amira Nasser. She's the host. It's through Buck Evans. He has a arts consortium or something to that effect that supports local young artists or artists. So yeah, I got that, and I might have a couple more shows in the works. And I think I'm getting invited to Sacramento to do a run. So I'll keep you posted.
Come to Sacramento. I will fucking show you around. I'll be your lady.
I can't wait. Seriously, I have no life.
Awesome. All right, Danny.
You can find me at RadChickForever on Instagram, Facebook. Those are the only two I use, and Cash App and Venmo. I've got a lot of open mics coming up. You can go to SAC to find them out, and that's it.
All right, Rob.
Get my side project, Stand Up Dad's podcast, comes out every Sunday. Do that with my buddy Mike. And do not send your right-wing bullshit to me. I'm still getting your fucking nonsense from that religious guy.
Are you? Yes.
I've unsubscribed like 3 times, and I'm still getting that shit. So
Paula,
a whole fucking lot.
Yeah, Paula. Just so you know, he grew up Catholic. Rob did, and now he's a staunch atheist. I signed up for him to get a free bottle of holy water with this mega church, and yeah, he's been getting spammed left and right.
Oh, God.
How Catholic were you, Rob?
Oh, I did the confirmation. I was actually was in youth groups and shit.
There you go. Yeah.
And well, I didn't have to do catechism because I was in Catholic school.
Yeah,
so,
me as well.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I get it back.
Yeah, I was on the campus ministry team for my high school. And then,
but he's an atheist now because the priest never touched him, and he's upset about it.
I am jealous.
I don't blame you, man. You really got left out there.
I know.
Because everybody got fucked with.
Every little boy did, I thought.
That's sad.
Rob, are you done with your plug? Sorry.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Mr. Orange, do you have anything?
Yeah, I'm still at Mr. Orange or Mr._Orange25 on Twitter. I'm much more political these days just because I'm mad. So one day I'll be funny again.
Okay. Follow me on Twitter at TheBigNickJ. Just look below and you'll see the podcasts social media. All righty. So Inside the Comic Studio is brought to you by Seattle Gummy Company, who gave me a bunch of their mocha shots. So I'll be giving you guys some soon. When you need to be alert and focus fast, mocha shots, high energy gummies work 5 times faster than coffee and at half the price. The combination of active ingredients improves focus, enhances cognitive performance, and reduces the jittery side effects of caffeine so you can get shit done anytime, anywhere. Use promo code GAG15 and you'll save 15% off your entire order. Okay. So, Paula, have you listened to our podcast before?
Yes, I actually listened to one.
Oh, was it good?
But I didn't get more than 15 minutes through it because kids stuck. So my apologies.
No, at least you weren't like, I didn't get through 15 minutes of it because you guys are fucking awful.
We're amazing.
No, you guys are great, actually. This is awesome. I really
thank
appreciate
you.
being invited.
So we do this thing called Inside the Comic Studio where we ask all comics the same 5 questions. So first question is first joke that landed well.
My first joke that landed well, that I believe that pregnancy should be listed on the list of STDs. Just so people know what they're getting into. Not the stuff you can take antibiotics for. The lifer list over to the left. That's where you need to be.
All right.
That was my first.
Second question, favorite thing about your local comedy scene?
The people.
Hear that a lot. All right. Now, the opposite of that. One thing you dislike or would like to see changed in your local scene?
Well, it's hard to listen to the same sets the same way again and again, but that's the basis of an open mic is people learning their shit. So I can't change that. I'd say more opportunities for shows.
All right. Your favorite local comedian?
Ooh, shit. See, man. I can't say because Josh Barnes, local guy.
All right. And then lastly, advice to new comedians.
Get used to hearing the same shit over and over again.
And get used to lights as applause.
Yeah. Josh guy, he taught me everything I know, so he's doubly cool.
And it's Josh Barnes, Barnes.
Josh Barnes, yeah. I think his handle is Petty since '83. Yeah.
I like how you remember that, but not your own social media.
This is clever.
I have a photographic memory, and I've never looked at mine enough. That's the problem. I see other people's stuff. Yeah.
All right. Well, that does it for this edition of Gag on This. I want to thank our guest host, Mr. Orange, the floating fucking deep throat head. Rob, I don't know where the fuck Rob went. So
He's taking a shit. Yeah.
Paula, thank you. Oh, he's back. Thank you for coming on, Paula. I appreciate it. And hopefully we talk soon. Hopefully you and Danny do a show together. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go up to Savage Henry. I wanted to before COVID. Like I said, I have your magazines, and I want to do it. So pull some strings. Let's do it. Let's go. Do you have to apply to that?
Yeah.
Or how do you? What do you have to do?
Well, let me put in a plug here. So for all you interested in the Northern California comedy scene, check out Savage Henry Independent Times in Eureka. They do a comedy festival every October. We've decided as a club that we're holding the festival this year, regardless of how things go. We're going to find a way that people can come be part, and the festival continues. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll hook anybody up.
Dope. Yeah, and I'll share it too.
Do you guys accept
Awesome.
podcasts, or is it just stand up?
Well, Chris does do podcasts. He actually does a really cool one where he's been interviewing a lot of local comics, more than California, the people he knows. And he's got a whole, what is it called? It's called Durant and Rave. His last name is Durant and then Rave. It's
okay.
I'll have to check that out. All right. Well, thank you again, Paula, for coming on. I appreciate it. This was a fun episode, and you guys stay safe.
All right.
All right. Later, guys.
Thanks again.
Yeah.
Peace.